Hey everybody, my name is Danny and this channel is called Operation Los Algodones. Something that for whatever reason seems to stress people out about the whole Los Algodones concept is having to cross the border. Let me be clear, the Andrade border crossing between Winter Haven, California and Los Algodones, Mexico is a breeze in every manner and nothing to be overwhelmed by. This video will address the border as a pedestrian because, as I'm sure you've already heard, with a parking rate of $6 a day on the California side, walking across is in fact the preferred method for most Americans and Canadians. So let's get right into it. I've read quite a few questions in different Los Algodones groups on Facebook regarding the border's operating hours and questions as far as what's needed to cross back and forth between the United States and Los Algodones. I actually just spent last week in Los Algodones doing work for my channel, so this is all updated and current information that I'm giving you. Let's start with the obvious, the hours. I am thrilled to tell you that the border is absolutely once again operating from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. Yes, during the height of the pandemic, the Andrade crossing, which again is the primary crossing point for the vast majority of people seeking dental work, pharmacy, and optical, they had indeed wound their normal operating hours back and were only open from 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. Now, depending on who you ask, this created an inconvenience for both the dental clinics and the patients, based on the fact that everything needed to be accomplished within a certain window of time each day. I had all my work done amid the pandemic, and during my procedures, I was constantly checking the time because I knew I had to be back to U.S. Customs before 2 p.m. Dental practices had to get patients in bright and early in the morning, again, in order to assure them that they could get back across the border before it closed. And this created an issue just based on the fact that a large percentage of Americans and Canadian patients actually stay in the hotels in and around Yuma, Arizona. The whole thing was seemingly kind of counterproductive again for both the clinics and the patients. And the lines to re-enter the US would oftentimes get backed up for an hour or more, which is never pleasant, especially when you just had 15 to 20 extractions done 20 minutes ago. And the backups were simply because everyone was trying to get across at the same time. Now, with that being said, I for one am very thankful that they at least remained open. Just because there's an international pandemic doesn't mean that dental pain is stopped in its tracks. So kudos to both the Americans and the Mexicans for still allowing the people to seek the treatments that they needed, albeit within an inconvenient window of time. But yes, as of November 8, 2021, the Andrade border crossing has officially resumed the pre-pandemic operating hours of 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. California time. Next, let's discuss crossing into Mexico. Crossing into Mexico is both simple and quick. Unfortunately, pictures and videos of the actual border crossing process aren't allowed by either the United States or Mexico, so I'm going to try to explain it to you the very best I can. After parking your car in the $6 a day Ketchin Tri-Bone parking lot, you will exit the lot to a sidewalk, and the exit is actually a cement handicap accessible ramp. Once you make it down the ramp into the sidewalk, you will walk maybe 30 yards to a large turnstile gate. Once you walk through the turnstile, you've entered Mexico. You'll walk another 10 yards or so into a building where you will be greeted by what appears to be a Mexican soldier based on the way that he or she is dressed. If you're entering with a bag, a purse, or any other luggage for that matter, you may or may not be asked to open that bag for what is largely a no-hands 5-second visual inspection. Once that visual inspection is done, you're immediately permitted to enter. Super simple and super quick. I personally have never been asked for ID of any sort, nor have I ever really seen anyone else ask for it. However, like anything, I would always suggest having your ID ready and available if need be, both out of a sign of respect for authority and because, as intelligent people, we're always taught to have ID and be prepared to show it, right? Upon getting past the Mexican border agents, you will continue down a sidewalk for another 15 yards and bam, you're in beautiful Los Algodones, Mexico. Again, very simple, very quick, very cut and dry. Smile, be respectful, and allow these nice young men and women to do their job. Nothing to it. Now as for crossing back into the United States, in spite of what you may have read or may have heard regarding people being able to cross back into the U.S. with just a driver's license, I'm going to act in your best interest and tell you the official rules so that you can follow those rules and avoid any complication when returning to the United States. Have a passport, unless you possess an enhanced driver's license, which is only available to people who reside in the state of New York, the state of Michigan, the state of Minnesota, the state of Vermont, and Washington State. An enhanced driver's license is a paid option to upgrade your existing driver's license or state-issued ID, and it is in fact accepted like a passport at any U.S. land border or seaport when returning from Mexico. Upon your arrival at U.S. Customs to re-enter the United States, honestly, look for the wall. There is literally a man door cut into the wall that you will walk through. Upon arrival at that man door, there will usually be 2 or 3 U.S. Customs officers waiting there to check your passport or enhanced license. Upon approval to enter, you will then walk into a small building where a customs officer will call you forward to the first open pedestrian lane. Have your enhanced license or your passport ready. You will hand your ID to the officer and be asked to lower your mask and stand on a circle on the floor where they will snap a picture of you. They will usually ask you if you bought anything in Mexico or are bringing anything back with you. Upon satisfying their questions and positively proving your identity, you will be successfully released from U.S. Customs. As you walk out of the building, you will walk down a sidewalk that will literally drop you right back off at the catch-in parking lot. Again, very simple, very straightforward. A few more rules to abide by from the standpoint of having the proper identification and being asked to declare any purchases or any acquisitions that you may or may not have made in Mexico. But overall, it's a piece of cake. And it's funny because I have spoken to people who allow just the thought of crossing back and forth to overwhelm them and sway their decision. Let me assure you again, there is literally nothing overwhelming about anything having to do with either crossing into Mexico or crossing back into the United States. So there it is, my honest and straightforward explanation of how crossing the border works. I hope it was helpful to you in simplifying your decision. Operation Los Algodones is an all-encompassing channel that's designed to serve you, the consumer. I want to help simplify your process and load you up with all the information that you need to make an educated decision when it comes to considering Los Algodones. I am going to make every effort to arm you, the consumer, with as much practical knowledge as I can. I would ask you to both like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're eager to hear and learn more about everything that Los Algodones and its neighboring communities in California and Arizona have to offer. Thanks for joining me today, and I really hope to see and hear from you in the comments on this video and in my upcoming videos. Thanks.